Hello everyone, my name is Yuko Tomizuka. I'm a global real estate investment advisor with more than 30 years of experience. Once in a while, I have been spending my time to explain the good Japanese business philosophy because business philosophy is one of the keys which allowed many Japanese venture companies to succeed and allow them to get to the global international companies. Today, I'd like to speak something about Mr. Inamori's episode. Mr. Inamori is a chairman and the founder of Kyocera Company, one of the technology companies in Japan. And he also the saver of Japan Airline, uh, Japanese national carrier, and also he was a founder of KDDI, one of the top telecommunication companies in Japan. Today's topic is this: why does virtue drive profit? This is number one, part one. Mr. Inamori talked about the importance of virtue, good heart, regarding the lead generation, revitalization of Japan Airline. He was able to bring a big profit to because people worked with a good heart, diligence, and virtue. I would like to share these tips of Zhao's secret. Pursuing profits and a fair manner with a good heart. Number one, religious spirit. Number two, harmony. Number three, deflection. Number four, infinite abilities. Number five, no fear, fighting spirit. All of those factors have allowed Japan Airlines to make their amazing and remarkable record after its bankrupt. So starting from number one, religious spirit. This is mind. Mr. Inamori said, generally, it is said that Japanese are not that much religious, but I consider we Japanese are deeply religious. The religion that the Japanese follow is so-called polytheism. And this seems to be less religious from the standpoint of monotheism. Monotheism, only one God. Instead, we have several gods, several objects to be respected. Yeah. Therefore, non-Japanese people describe us as less religious. We can find this religious attitude in our works. For instance, manufacturing by Japanese originally had been a sacred work in which you need to purify yourself and your soul. By integrating your purified soul into your work or creation, you have created the products to be dedicated not only to God but also to others. So curiously, not only Japanese but also non-Japanese can understand this kind of spirituality. Foreigners have found differences in the mindsets between Western and Japanese. Some people analyze this because Japanese people have some spirituality. For instance, foreigners whom we are working with have a great understanding of the spirituality of Japanese people and its culture. The Japanese are often said to be indecisive. This is somehow in a negative sense. However, foreign clients describe these features as an attitude of listening to others. Certainly, top-down management style are not so common in Japan, but I think uh, remaining humble and listening to others before judging have also been one of the good business practices in Japan. Number two, harmony. Inamori said, "I love generosity and compassion as a human being, or good heart as a human being, expressed by the words love, sincerity, and harmony, have driven all of the benefits to you. In other words, activities based on virtue explain the principle compassion will eventually come back to you. I believe this is not the implying Japanese contribute to the growth of other countries, but such attitude will also bring long-term success to us Japanese. The constitution composed of 70 articles, the first constitution in Japan, enacted by Prince Shotoku in 7th century can be interpreted as a code of ethics, beginning with the famous article, creating harmony in the most value is the most valuable. Even when we look at the nation of Japan, I think it is desirable to carry out activities based on this virtue, the code of ethics. The virtue, a, a gentle and compassionate value, is the soft power that Japan should bring to the world. I read the story of Dr. Tetsu Nakamura, a doctor who created and wells and conducted a large-scale irrigation project in the area where the uh, famine was severe due where the famine was severe due to the drought in Afghanistan. In an area where military attacks and murders by force are rampant, Dr. Nakamura's medical activities, civil work eventually gained a great trust from the people. Dr. Nakamura had never got armed by themselves, decided the resources to create the fields to cultivate for local people. In Buddhism, Hado, which is governed by martial art, is called Shurado, warrior's world, warrior's society, warrior's mindset. Shurado is placed below humankind world. Nakamura's contribution has exactly been the proof that Japanese mindset comes from peace and harmony. War and violence come from global egoism. Number three, reflection. Inamori said, employees working at JAL should spontaneously be filled with sincere gratitude to the passengers on board and demonstrate them there to the passengers. I think that is the most important for the air transportation business to maintain the fundamental value of such hospitality towards customers. Perhaps as JAL had the pride of being Japanese leading national flag carrier, they became very arrogant and snob, forgot to show their humbleness and respect toward their customers. They obviously looked down upon customers. I feel JAL Japan Airlines, which used to be such a desperate company, humbly regretted their behaviors and finally changed their mindset through the philosophy implementation. The frontline staff understand the philosophy that I brought. They have worked hard and conducted good business practices based on the philosophy. In the event of the Tohoku earthquake, please listen. For example, the cabin attendant made freshly cooked rice bowl and provided them to customers who got stuck in the cabin for a long time. A ground staff at the Moscow branch bought some chocolate with his pocket money and gave them to customers who were stuck in the lounge. A captain made a heartwarming announcement to the rescue staff of the Japanese Red Cross heading to the disaster area, and his word encouraged the rescue team very much. A staff handling the luggage attached a memo notes to the luggage. The memo encouraged and moved the rescue staff heading to the disaster area also. All those performances spontaneously come from JAL staff who fundamentally changed, learned philosophy, and realized the core value of the hospitality industry. I think this is the sort of power that Japanese people can deliver to the world. I think those good practices delivered by Japanese staff would allow non-Japanese to like Japanese people. Those non-Japanese may be fond of Japan and commit themselves to maintain a long business relationship with Japan. They would never be our enemy. This is a fundamental philosophy and core value that Mr. Inamori would like to bring and share with you in the world. Thank you for your attention.